Welcome to the Savage River in America for the blue ribbon of slalom racing, the Men's Kayak Championship, set over one of the toughest sections of white water to be found anywhere in the world. A crowd of 10,000 packing both banks here in western Maryland for what promises to be a really close competition. Russ Smith, a member of Britain's gold medal winning team 2 years ago in France, found it difficult to find a flowing line through the opening section. However, free of penalties with more than 2/3 of the course safely completed, his final time of 3 minutes 43.16 was to prove good enough to take the lead, despite this one unlucky touch with his stern on gate 17. The experienced Brian Brown, having narrowly escaped a penalty at the very first downstream gate, was quickly back into his rhythm. 28-year-old Marylander supported all the way by an enthusiastic home crowd. His time would have been good enough to take the lead, but for a momentary loss of control and this careless touch with his bow on gate 19. New Zealand now, and Donald Johnson, 5th in the World Championships 2 years ago, and a real talent from the Southern Hemisphere. 25 now, and plenty of experience on the world circuit. Not the best of starts. 19, the drop down to this very difficult gate. It's a little tricky. Oh, and Johnson in trouble there.
That's right, he's having to do a shoulder shrug to get around the gate there.
And that's the point where the slack water and the rough water meet, and it really is trickier than it looks. You can see the power of the Savage as he comes down to gate 20. Really big grade 4 water. The easiest water, rated grade 1, the toughest grade 6. You probably can't paddle in that, but the Savage in that section grade 4. Johnson spinning backwards into and through gate 23. Oh, nicely there below and tight to 24. Didn't lose anything, in fact probably gained a touch there. Sideways through 25, and the time of Strukel's on the left. He's not going to quite make it, but this is a good first run. 3:28.28, about 3 seconds off the pace, but good enough for second place.
He's been very clever here. Saved time by turning above the hole, but he controlled that beautifully with superb timing, strength. Really benefited from that high cross.
At the top of the course, Ian Wiley for Ireland, 21. From Dublin, but he's been over in the United States training, and he's a much improved paddler. But having said that, that was really careless on gate number 1. 5-second penalty there, but he's moved through that very fast right-hand route out of gate number 2, setting himself up for the fast water to take him through 3. 19 now. Oh, that was good. The perfect line through 19, lots of speed. And a great deal of concentration here, and that's something you must do on this river if you want to perform well. Nicely through 20. The skills also involve the combination of power and control. As he comes through gate 22, he needs to put the power on, approaching the drop. And now switch to control. Nicely done. Now use the water to bring the kayak across to 24, and that was well done, and he really is a much improved paddler, Ian Wiley. He's not going to be too far away from Strukel's time. That's on the left there, the Yugoslav still leading. And 3:24.87, the fastest man down the river, but that one penalty pushing him down to 4th. Richard Weiss, 25, geology graduate. 6th in the world 2 years ago. Neatly round gate 1, straight onto 2. Fast route there around that gate, the upstream gate. Now 19, no problem with that at all. And this huge crowd really urging Richard Weiss on. Champion of America for the past 2 seasons. And this a good run. 21 brings the bow round, not losing any time at all. This looks to be a pretty quick time, just 3 gates to go, and the crowd really urging Richard Weiss onwards and onwards. Oh, and he slotted it beautifully in there between the poles at 24. And surely this must be the new leader, and a pretty clean run from what we've seen, and he's smashed the time there. But I must say that 5-second penalty that they're showing, a real surprise to us. Richard Fox for Great Britain, world champion in 1981, 83 and 85, and really charging out here. And a very determined start from Richard Fox. Quickly round 2. Sets himself up now for 3. Oh, that was careless, just caught that pole on the shaft of his blade, and again at 4, and 10 seconds of penalties right at the top. And what pressure Richard Fox has put on himself now. He does, of course, have a second run. 19, the drop down. Not quite as good as he would have liked there. But he is the master technician. The boat continually moving as he goes through 20. In his mind, he knows every paddle stroke he intends to make. He's planned it by walking the course, the one practice run, and 3:23.77 the time of Richard Weiss. And Richard Fox is close enough, he's in touch, but remember those penalties will hurt him. That was good across 2:24. Burst through the wave there. Weiss's time on the left, and he's much faster, Richard Fox. 3:16.08, the fastest man on the river, but look at those 10 seconds of penalties. Down into 4th place. Richard Weiss ahead of the 2 Yugoslavians. Richard Fox only 4th after those 2 early penalties. The next 6, all capable of closing on the American, who was pretty sure that his first run was a clean one.
I know that I had a water touch on gate 1, but I'm sure I didn't hit anything, so I don't know.
Well, did he or didn't he? There's the water coming up from the bow of the kayak as Richard arches underneath that pole, and I must say from where we are, it doesn't look as if he touches it. And quite clearly, Richard Weiss has a different view of gate 1 than the 3 judges gathered around. Well, the second and decisive run still to come. Join us for that in Melvin Jones for Great Britain. 55 seconds of penalties on his first run, really knocked him out of contention, but he's a much better paddler than that. Gate number 9, oh, and low there on the eddy. And that's where the time is really lost, and where this race is won. That was much better at 10. Kept much tighter to the gate. A little loss of time there, hesitation again, not driving through the gate. Down to 12, now the breakout to 13. Again, a little wide on his approach to the gate there. He was tight enough to it, but he lost time on the approach. 20 now, yet another upstream gate, and you can see he's out to his left. He really needed to be tighter coming into that. All these little errors adding up, the seconds that are lost down the course. And in a sense, it's the paddler who makes the least number of errors who wins the main championships. Couzeau for France, still with the lead. Melvin Jones trying to make up time here on the bottom. This must be good. Again, you can see just half a boat length down behind that gate. And he should have had the bow between the 2 poles. Now pushing on towards the line. Can he get onto the podium? He's pretty close despite all those little errors. But he's just over a second down and only 4th. And Wiley is doubling up. Coming to 16, currently in 9th position. Oh, and really being pushed around by the water and pushed into that error. 5-second penalty for that touch on the pole. He just doesn't seem to have the power, and the water rather controlling him rather than he the water. dropped down to 19, little draw strokes there.
Ian's obviously very tired. This is his second run. It's really hard work coming down this river.
Coming across the river now to gate number 20. And again, you see, he's made a complete mess of that. He really wasn't set coming in, lost control, came to a complete stop. And it really is difficult sometimes getting yourself up for the second run, particularly when you've had a good first leg down the river and set yourself a decent time. Oh, and another careless mistake. Catching the pole with his bow there on 23. And although he's not far away, all those penalties have to be added. You can see there the paddle there, very horizontal. The power has just gone away, the head's gone down, and he's a very disappointed man. Only 11. Plenty of good paddlers still to come. Richard Weiss for the United States. And the cheers go up. At 9, nicely through there. And that 5-second penalty, which he's been given for the first run, which he feels that he's been given unjustly, he's got to put that out of his mind. He's just got to concentrate on the job in hand. And he's got himself into all sorts of trouble there at gate 11. Now he got himself trapped in that little stopper wave, pushed down past the right-hand pole, and he's had to work his way all the way back. He's not incurred any penalty, but he's lost time. It's now asking a great deal of him to make up for that deficit, but he has shown speed as well as power on this course. He knows the river well. He's got the crowd behind him. He's charging down now to 23. He's got time in hand to get in front of Clouzot for France, who leads. I'm not sure whether that was a touch there on the far side on 23. Very suspicious, that pole waving around. And it doesn't look as if he's going to overtake Clouzot with this run. And so it's his first run time that's going to count. Indeed it is, and he stays in bronze medal position. Richard Fox for Great Britain. 29 from Nottingham. Only 6th. Oh, and that's a careless start. 5-second penalty right on gate number 1. Well, he was under pressure before he started, but now he's really got to pull out something special. He had problems at 3, but not this time round. 4, just a touch low. It would have been nicer if he'd been tighter to the gate, but at least he's avoided penalties there. Coming down to 16, the view that Richard has. Oh, and that's lovely. Did that wonderfully well, and again through 17. Every stroke counting, the boat continually moving. And he's made up some precious seconds in the centre of the course as he comes down to 19. This important as well, not perfect, but good enough.
You can see the aggression as he fights his way down here. Such a contrast to a lot of the paddlers that have just been down.
This course is tough, it favours the experience. You've got to be fit, you've got to be strong. Now look at him, push the power into the paddles now. But if he's got any chance, it's got to be 100% perfect here. That was good, he was quickly onto the wave. This has got to be great, and it is. And Fox is beginning to fly, but the clock ticking away. Clouzot's time on the left as he goes for gate 25, nicely through there. Punching on down. Remember, there's a 5-second penalty to add, and he's got to add that on to 3:13.61, and that's good enough. And Richard Fox goes into the lead for Great Britain. Tremendous run. And some really vintage moves right in the middle of the course there.
Richard's boat positioning, his power, timing, absolutely perfect. And that's what wins medals.
Richard Fox looking concerned. He knows the last man still on the course, and he could take it away from him. Well, here is the last man, Laurent Brissot for France, the man from Grenoble. He's in 8th position after the first run, but of course he's further down the order now, so this is the important run for him, and he was very careful there coming out to make sure that he didn't have any penalties, which he hasn't had, but he's lost some time. This is better. Now across to 4. Upstream, red and white poles for the last time. Nicely round there. Now he's got to really use his strength. Break through this white water. Coming to 19, the cross gate. Again, not quite right. The little draw stroke, the hesitation. Those are the things that cost the fractions of the second. Again, correction strokes there on his right-hand side as he's breaking out into 20. Richard Fox watching Brissot on one of the television screens by the side of the river. And I think he's going to feel a lot happier in a couple of seconds, because Brissot looks to be outside his time at this point. Indeed, he is a little slower, but there's not a great deal in it. A lot depends on this, and that wasn't bad. And Brissot is closing about 5 seconds, 3 seconds now. He's not going to make Richard Fox's time. Can he deny his teammate Clouseau in silver or Abramovich in bronze? I don't think he can. No, he can't. And so Richard Fox wins his 4th World Championship, even with a 5-second penalty.
Well, I didn't realise what I'd done actually at that point. All I knew was that I'd hit gate 1 and that I didn't really expect to win the race with a 5. But, you know, so I was pretty mad. I mean, the objective is to get down there clean, you know that. And I'm disappointed that I didn't have a clean run, but I'm really happy with the way I paddled, and I'm really glad that I won the race.
So Richard Fox confirms himself as the outstanding kayak paddler of the decade. Richard Weiss very unlucky not to be in the medals. Laurent Brissot missing the silver medal by just over